Welcome class 10th. So in my previous video, we have seen how Portia was leaving her house under the pretext of spending her days in holy meditation in the company of Nerissa till the return of her husband. And Portia also instructs Lorenzo that he would not find any difficulty in running her house because she has instructed her servants to accept Lorenzo and Jessica as their master and mistress of the house till she comes back. After that, we see Jessica and Lorenzo wishing her a good journey and they leave the stage from now. So this is the second part of your Act 3, Scene 4. So Portia now turns to Balthazar. Only Portia, Balthazar and Nerissa are on stage now. So she has already devised a plan. She turns to her faithful servant Balthazar and she instructs him. First, let me give you the gist, children, before paraphrasing the lines. So she turns towards Balthazar and sends him to Padua with a letter to her cousin Dr. Bellario. Dr. Bellario is a doctor of law and she chooses Balthazar because he is an honest and a trustworthy servant and he is going to go to Padua and give the letter to Dr. Bellario. And purpose of sending Balthazar to Portia's cousin was to hand over to him her letter and then to bring back from him certain letters, notes, and robes, clothes. Notes means that Dr. Bellario is going to give his written opinion about the case. Robes means to the clothes of the doctor of law, which she would be requiring for herself, and a dress for lawyer. Lawyer's clerk means for Nerissa also she required. So she has already devised a plan, and after the departure of Balthazar, Portia gives Nerissa a hint regarding their mission. She says that she has some urgent work and also says that they are going to a place that is Venice where their husbands are. And Portia says that she is going to outline the rest of the plan to Nerissa in the coach, the carriage, which will carry them to their destined place that is in Venice. And she also tells Nerissa that their husbands will not recognize them when they are going to see them over there. Why? Because Portia tells Nerissa that because they will be dressed up like young men. She is going to be dressed up like a doctor of law, and Nerissa will be dressed up as his clerk. His because she will be in a man's attire then. So now coming back to the paraphrase, she turns to Balthazar. She says, "Now, Balthazar, as I have ever found thee honest, true, so let me find thee still." She says, "You have always been a trustworthy servant with me, and still I should like you to be the same. Take the same letters, and use thou all the endeavor of a man in speed to Padua." This same letter, she hands over a letter. She has already written a letter to her cousin Dr. Bellario, who lives in Padua. He is a renowned doctor of law over there. She says, take this letter, and with all the endeavor means efforts, whatever efforts a man can put in, with all the speed, go to Padua. See thou render this into my cousin's hand, Dr. Bellario, and look what notes and garments he doth give thee. Bring them, I pray thee, with imagined speed unto the Tranect, to the common ferry which trades to Venice. Till full stop, children. So she says, with all the efforts of a man, with all full speed, go to Padua and see that carefully you give this letter in the hand of Dr. Bellario, who is my cousin, and see that he is going to hand over some notes and garments. Notes, I have told you, the letter he is going to write down giving his opinion about the case. She must have written about the case of Antonio and Shylock, the bond, and the garments, clothes, which he is going to give to you. Bring them, I pray thee. I request you, bring them with imagined speed, speed which can only be imagined, with all full speed, and to the Tranect. Tranect is a landing place where the common ships and boats they come, to the common ferry which trades to Venice. So the ferry which carry passengers on hire to Venice. So at that place, bring them over there because I will be there already. She says, waste no time in words, but get thee gone. Do not waste any time, but go at once. I shall be there before thee. I will already be there. I will reach over there even before you come back. Balthazar, Madam, I go with all convenient speed. So Balthazar at once leaves. He says, I go with all the speed I can. And he exits. He goes. Now Portia and Nerissa are left alone on the stage. Of course, Nerissa must be wondering what is going on. Portia says, come on, Nerissa. I have work in hand that you yet know not of. We'll see our husbands before they think of us. She says, come on, I have some plan in my mind which even you do not know. And she gives her a hint that we are going to see our husbands, means Portia's husband Bassanio and Nerissa's husband Gratiano, that we are going to see them even before they can even think of us. Of course, they can not imagine, Bassanio and Gratiano cannot in their wildest dreams imagine that their wives can ever come to Venice, that too disguised as a doctor of law and his clerk. Nerissa is wondering, shall they see us? Portia, they shall, Nerissa, but in such a habit that they shall think we are accomplished with what we lack. She says, yes, but in such a habit, in such an attire, in such a disguise, that they will think that we are accomplished, we are equipped with what we are not. They will see us in the manly disguise which they can never think of. I will hold thee any wager. When we are both accoutred like young men, I will prove the prettier of fellow of the two, and wear my dagger with a braver grace. She says, I can hold Nerissa any bet. I can bet that when both of us will be dressed up accoutred, dressed up like young men, I will prove prettier fellow of the two. I will be proved to be smarter. I will be more smart than be smarter of the two, and wear my dagger with a braver grace. See, in those days, young men used to carry dagger in their clothes, in their robes. She says, and I am going to dress up like a young, brave fellow, wearing my dagger with braver grace, more gracefully, more bravely. Speak between the change of a man and boy with a reed voice, and I am going to speak in the squeaky voice of a boy who is on the verge of manhood. See, the boys, how they speak, the voice who is growing into adulthood, their voice cracks. She says, I am going to speak like that. Turn two mincing steps into a manly stride, and just like a girl daintily walks in small strides, small steps, I will make them one. Two steps make them one into a manly walk, and speak of phrase like a fine bragging youth. And I'm going to speak of the fights boys, boastful boys get into, and like that I am going to speak about them, boast about them, and tell quaint lies, quaint imagination, imaginative lies, artful lies. Very artfully, I am going to tell lies how honorable ladies sought my love, which are denying they fell sick and died. And I am going to talk all about the artful lies, how young boys always, when they are boasting, when they boast about their um, that they are so handsome and they are so dashing, that so many ladies who were honorable, they were after me for my love, but because of course I could not do about anything about it, so I had to deny, I couldn't reciprocate the love of all, so they fell sick and died for me. I could not do with all, I couldn't help it. Then I will repent and wish for all that I had not killed them. And then I will show to the others while boasting about this that I repent. I repented and I wish that I had not, they were not killed because of my sake. But I couldn't help it. What could I do? And 20 of those puny lies I will tell. Puny lies, silly lies. These which can be convincing. I will be able to convince people with these puny lies that men should shall swear I have discontinued school about a 12-month, that those who will hear me, they could easily see that I was just a bragging youth who had left school just a year back. That because boys at this age are like this, they easily fall into fights and pick up fights, and girls are after their after their love. So these all puny lies I will able to convince. I have within my mind 1,000 raw tricks of these bragging jacks, which I will practice. So she's telling Nerissa that while on the way to Venice, I will, this is how I am going to behave. Because, of course, see, children, they are girls after all, and though they will be disguised as boys, they will be disguised as boys on the way. So she will be disguised like bragging youth, a boy who is boastful, so that they can go on the journey safely. I have within my mind 1,000 raw tricks, inexperienced tricks. She says this shows her imaginative skills. She's already planned all this. She says, I have got 1,000. This is a hyperbole, of course. So many inexperienced tricks I have in my mind of these bragging jacks, these boastful youths, how the boastful young people they go across telling lies. These I will practice on the way. But come, I will tell thee all my whole device when I am in my coach, which stays for us at the park gate. See, she's planned everything. She says, all this my plan, the whole plan, what I have in mind, I will tell you, Nerissa, once we are in the coach, because the coach, the carriage is already waiting for us at the park gate. Park gate is the name of the place where the coach must be waiting for her. She has arranged all this. And therefore, haste away, for we must measure 20 miles today. And she says, we have to cover 20 miles today itself. So, better make haste. We should hurry up. Go quickly, Nerissa. I will tell you everything on the way. So, see, children, this Act 3, Scene 4, towards the end, describes the imaginative skills of Portia. She plans in detail the plan of action. She decides clearly her and Nerissa's role in it. The way she plans to speak and walk and tell boastful lies clearly indicate her imaginative skills, isn't it? Moreover, this scene also highlights about her intelligence and her good management skills. She's very intelligent, presence of mind she has good management skills. So with this, Act 3, Scene 4, we have completed. And in my next video, I will send across the paraphrase for Scene 5. Act 3, Scene 5, which will be the last scene of this act. And children, for God's sake, keep on revising. Go through the videos, the paraphrase. You should try to understand each word, each line, and then do the work, the assignment in your workbooks in pencil and come up with your queries. Ask whatever you're not able to understand. English is the most important subject. Don't relegate it to the background. With that, goodbye. Keep safe.